Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to this week's live. Until I get people on, I'm just going to do my techie bits in the background. You're sure all used to them by now. So we'll share it in there and let everyone know that we're on for this next installment, which I think will tie in nicely after the pricing one that we did, or I did last week. So it will be good. And it's stuff that we need to know and we need to get a grip of. It's 2026 is going to be used for let's get a grip. Let's get a grip, everyone, of our business. So bear with. I'm nearly done. There we go. Right. Welcome, everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Vicky, and I'm one of the owners of The Pet Accountant, founder of The Pet Accountant, and part founder of the Pet Pro Expo with the lovely Tegan. So I'm doing these series on pricing and boundaries, not as some random person that doesn't know what they're talking about. Is someone who has run a business, is running a business, and has come across these issues personally as well. It's something that we all have to deal with. So I thought this week we would do a chat on boundaries, because whether you're a dog groomer, boarder, trainer, walker, whatever, I see this all the time through clients of ours and also on social media with the questions and things that people put up. But before we dive into the boundaries side of things, also please let me know if you've got any questions as we go throughout this, and I will answer them as we go, or I might leave them till the end because otherwise I go off on a tangent. But lots and lots of you liked the video that we did on pricing last week. And lots of you shared it, which I'm very, very happy that you did that. And lots of people have messaged to say that they have really looked at their pricing and what their increases are going to be a bit more carefully and actually looked at their figures. And the start of every podcast, I will pretty much say, and if you listen to any previous ones, I probably said it at some point, everything in business comes down to your numbers pretty much 99% of the time. So if you don't know your numbers, everything else is going to suffer, okay? Because they are the core of your business. You know, when I started The Pet Accountant, some of it was trial and error, yes, but a lot of my decisions that I made were based on my numbers. I know I have a slight advantage in that being an accountant, I'm used to looking at numbers and love numbers, but the reason it got from literally nothing to six figures practically within 12 months was because I focused everything around the numbers, and the pricing comes from that, everything comes from that. So please keep sharing that video, please keep looking at your pricing. And I'm still seeing messages on social media about what's everyone increased their prices by, you know, oh, you've done a £5, so I'll do a £5. I'm like, please stop copying everyone. If you take anything from these series of podcasts that I'm doing, just stop copying other people and look at your numbers when it comes to increasing your prices. Because again, across social media, like the other day, someone literally put a post, how much have you all increased your prices by? Because I need to know. Like, you need to look at your own figures, people. Like, it doesn't matter if Sandra around the corner has put her prices up £5, £10, £2, £1. Sandra could be in debt. Sandra could be a millionaire. You don't know. So don't base your price off someone else. Please, please, please look at your own figures and figure out how you need to increase your prices by how much. So please, peoples, because I keep seeing it. And someone actually put a message in our group in the Pet Professional Finance Hub of why our pet business is charging so less. And it had like 60 odd comments on there. And it's the same thing. We're copying everybody. You know, how come dog walkers are all charging practically the same amount for dog walks? Because everyone copies off each other. So we just got to get out of that. And yeah, just stop doing it, please. Look at your figures. But anyway, we're going to go on to boundaries because that is another massive issue, like I said, regardless of what business you run, whether you're an accountant. We've got to have boundaries with clients. If any of you follow or in the group, if you're not, Pet Professional Business and Finance Hub, I screenshotted a whinge from a past client who went anonymous in a grooming group and slagged me off. I know who it was because we very rarely get rid of clients, so it makes it pretty obvious of who it is. And that only happened because of boundaries and having clear set boundaries of what we will and won't tolerate. And when someone crosses those boundaries, that's it, you're no longer a client. So they are very, very important to have within the business. So that's why I thought I'd talk about that today. And as we go through, if it's you, then please put it in the comments. Like me, I do that, and we'll see how many people do the same thing. So firstly, I just want to be very clear that it's not, having boundaries is not a personality issue, it's a business issue. And as I said before, especially in the pet industry, we see as accountants and obviously on social media, incredible businesses struggling. And it's not because they're bad at what they do, it's because they let their clients run how they run their business. They let their clients dictate what we're doing. And we can't be doing that. Clients don't dictate what we're doing. So clients shouldn't dictate what you do. So that's the first thing. It's not anything to do with your personality or anything. It's a business issue. And because you're letting your clients run the show. For example, late cancellations with no charge. Please give me a thumbs up or a me if you've ever done this in the past, where a client is cancelled and you've not charged them, even though you've got terms and conditions that say they get a late cancellation charge. Constant appointment changes. I think, again, in one of the dog walking groups, someone put up there, I've had a client that always changes or cancels our appointment like 3 times a week. What should I do? My advice would be bin the effing client. Why are we having clients that have cancelled 3 or 4 times, multiple in a week? Get rid of the client. And, I know that's difficult and we'll talk about that in a sec, but just get rid of them. Or, unpaid invoices being let go. Oh, you didn't pay for that walk. Oh, well, okay, well, we'll just carry on next. We go, I can't pay it because, I've had to go and book a holiday. Okay, then Sandra, I'll let you off. Sorry, I keep picking on the name Sandra. No insults to Sandras. I don't know why it's a name that always pops in my head. I don't even know anyone called Sandra apart from clients, but there we go. Clients ignoring your policies and you letting them off because they're nice clients and we don't want to upset the nice clients. Enforcing your boundaries is not a bad thing. You're not being horrible to clients. So again, it's a mindset issue. The same with increasing your prices. It's a mindset issue and you don't want to do it to the nice clients. And I fall in that trap sometimes. I've had clients that have been with me since like 2017 and I go, oh, well, I don't really want to increase their prices because they're like my OGs and they're my nice clients, but you've got to do it. It's business. You've got to do it. And again, like if all of those are sounding familiar, the late cancellations, the constant appointment changes, then it's just, you're just human and we all fall into the same trap. However, that is because you're looking at it from a personal point of view. You're getting too emotionally involved in it. You've got to look at it from a business point of view because people doing late cancellations with no charges or a change in appointments that you can't then refill, the lack of boundaries is going to cost you money because you can't refill those. It's going to cost you time because now you're going to have to try and find someone to fill those. Energy because it's going to bloody stress you out. And then eventually, if you carry on doing it, you're just going to fall out of love with your business. And this is what we see sometimes. And it's sad because people go, I've got a shit business and my clients are crap and I'm not making any money. And it's because A, they haven't done the prices properly, which we discussed last week. And B, that you're letting your clients run your business for you because you're being nice. And I get it. I'm not saying you've got to be a dick, but you've just got to set those boundaries and stick to them. So let's talk about why they're essential, why clients push them, and how we're going to set the boundaries out. And again, it's not about you being strict. It's about being sustainable and having a sustainable business because if you don't enforce those boundaries, then eventually you'll just fall out of love with the business, and that'll be the end of that. So we don't want to go down that route. So why are the boundaries especially hard in the pet industry? First, because it's emotional. You love the pets, you love the animals, you know, you don't want to cause the owner stress, and you're just a lovely bunch of people. And when you're so lovely and nice, it is really hard to enforce boundaries because it feels awkward. I'm lucky in that I have Lee to enforce boundaries because I'm the weak one and I can't do it. So I need to listen to my own advice, but I have Lee to do that. And some people aren't as fortunate to have a business partner that is very good at enforcing boundaries. But that is why. Secondly, you have long-term relationships with these clients. Sometimes some of you will see them daily, some of you will see them weekly, monthly, and it makes you feel bloody awkward. Like, give us a shout if you feel awkward. Like when you do it, it does. It makes me cringe. I hate it. But that's why I have Lee to do it, because it's one of my weaknesses. I am quite a pushover sometimes when it comes to clients. So I need to take my own advice on that. So again, long-term relationship, it feels awkward. Okay, you don't want to get a bad review for a start off. So you're thinking, oh God, like if I set this boundary, are they going to leave and then, you know, leave a bad Google review or a Facebook review like my ex-lovely client did to me? Or do the clients leave? Are you worried that if you say, well, actually, no, you've cancelled the appointment, not within the time period stated on my terms and conditions, therefore it's 30 quid, whatever your price may be, are you worried that that person's then going to go, well, do you know what, screw you, I'm going to leave? Because that's a thought as well. Or do you not want to have the confrontation? Again, if you're doing it in person, it's a bit more awkward. And you feel like, I don't want to have this confrontation with clients. So do you know what? They've picked up Fluffy late. Even though it says if you're late by 5 minutes, it's an extra £10. But screw it, I don't want the argument, so I'm not going to do it. So again, it's either the fact that it's emotional, the fact that they're long-term relationships, and the fact you have a fear of the bad reviews of clients leaving or confrontation. Golden Pause Essex, hello. Absolutely. So I use ChatGPT to flip a message to reinforce. Still get a few though. Still let a few go though. Well, see, you can't be doing that. Stop letting a few go, because that letting a few go is costing you money. And I think as soon as you have that mindset shift, can't get my words out, mindset shift of it being a business rather than, you know, you're just caring for animals, and you start looking at how much the business is losing because you're letting a few go, it will soon change that mindset. Oh, well, hang on a minute. Those I've let through this month come to 500 quid. That's 500 quid. Times that by 12, that's a lot of money. So again, we can't be letting these, but use ChatGPT. You know, just write a text, copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, this is what I want to send. This is the tone I want. This is why it's happened. And let ChatGPT write it. So you have the policies, even though on paper or however you send them out to the clients. But when you don't enforce those rules, like Mrs. Golden Pause Essex, I know who you are, clients will quickly learn that your fees are optional, your deadlines are flexible, and your policies are negotiable. As soon as you let them go, you let them get away with one thing, they're automatically going to think, because they're only human, I'm just going to piss them off and I'll do it the same next week because they haven't enforced it. So haha. I thought I was going to get a £10 fine for picking the dog up late, but actually she's just let me off. So I'll probably do it again next time. People are just human. They're going to do it. It's not because they're bad people and, you know, they're going to keep pushing it. It's because by not enforcing it, you're training them that it doesn't matter. So what is the point of sending out policies to clients saying, well, if you pick up the dog late, it's this much. If you cancel an appointment not within this time frame, it's this much. If you try and change an appointment, it's this much. And then they do all three, but then you don't fine them. What's the point of doing it? You may as well just tear it up and not bother sending it. You've got to enforce these rules, okay? Because otherwise, again, you might not think a couple of quid here and there is going to have that much impact. But if you do that over 12 months, that's money out of your pocket that you could be spending on holidays, for example. So again, by not enforcing them, you're just telling the client that actually all of the stuff that I've put in those T's and C's is just negotiable. It's just we'll see what mood I'm in on the day. You know, as an accountancy firm, we have strict T's and C's that we follow, and we have to have them in there. If we didn't stick to those T's and C's, then our clients would run us ragged. But we have them there and we stick to them, and that trains the client. Well, actually, maybe I won't do that next time because I'm going to get bloody told off. So again, let's have them. You've got to also look at it, and like I said before, not from an emotional point of view, from a business point of view, because if you don't enforce those rules and those conditions, those boundaries, then you've got to look at the cost element. And I know I'll always come back to the cost element because I'm an accountant, but still, you've got to look at the cost of you not enforcing those boundaries. Late cancellations, if you've got staff, they still need paying. If it's like an hour before, a day before, the time can't be refilled. So that's income lost from that slot, you know, and your revenue disappears. If you total it all up in a month and it comes to a few hundred quid, and you times that by 12, especially if it's like 500 quid, that's like £6,000 a year that you're missing out on because you've not enforced the boundary, because it might have been a bit awkward or you just want to be nice. And I get it, it's not a bad thing, but it is for your business. And we've got to now start having a mindset shift, which is why I started talking about pricing last week, of getting into the fact that you are running a business and that you want it to be sustainable for however long you want to work for. And that means getting your pricing right and keeping to those boundaries. Everyone sets the boundaries. We know most people have late pickup fees, late cancellation fees, and all that sort of thing. We know you all have it, but I know 9 out of 10 of you don't enforce them. And we know that because of the clients that we speak to as accountancy clients and the people we spoke to at the expo. So again, we know you do it. And this is hopefully, if you sat there listening to this going, oh my God, this is me, like I'm that person, like, oh shit, you know, oh God, I'm awful. Like, you're not. It's just we need to have that mindset shift and go, do you know what, from this point forward, I've listened to Vicky, she's right. I'm now going to enforce those boundaries and my terms and conditions moving forward. So don't worry, we can always adapt and change things as we go through it. Appointment changes. Again, if people are going, well, actually, can I come at this time or this day instead? You've got admin time, because then you've got to sit faffing on changing it round. Schedules then become inefficient because you're having to change everybody around. And then your capacity drops because you're changing people around. You can't walk as many dogs, you can't groom as many dogs because you've had to switch and change everyone round for that one client who decided to change their appointment. So again, even for us from an accountancy perspective, it still works because we have discovery calls where people become a client. And we were finding last year that a lot of people were ringing and some were just wanted advice, some were just researching. And, you know, Tegan, who's our client manager, she only has so many hours in a day. And a lot of those were being wasted with just, like I say, window shoppers, you know, just all sorts. So now we've changed the way that we're going to do it. We're going to take on a set amount of people per month. And that will hopefully help Tegan a bit more. And we're going to be screening the calls a lot more as well to make sure that you are in the right place for needing an accountant and wanting an accountant before you speak to Tegan. So it's the same regardless of what business you have. So we've got to sort of tighten up these things so that we're not reducing our capacity and we're not increasing our admin time, because everyone hates admin. Again, delayed payments or unpaid payments. Oh, I'll just let you off this once. That's going to create cash flow stress and you're going to be out of pocket. And this is the main thing you've got to think of. It might be that you're being nice and going, oh, I'll just let them off. But what happens if you're out of pocket? And, you know, you can't have your takeaway, you can't have your holiday because you've let so many people off. So it's all about thinking about the business implications and just thinking to yourself, right, you know, I know it feels small, but over a month and a year, they're big costs. Okay, I've seen clients lose thousands of pounds because they haven't enforced their own rules. So If they aren't enforced, they're kind of more of a policy or a suggestion. Like, I suggest you don't come late because I might fine you. Or if you pick your dog up late from a grooming appointment or daycare appointment, for every 5 minutes you're late, I will add £10 onto the price. And you'll soon find that if they're late the first time and you charge them the £10, they will never be late again, because no one wants to pay money for the sake of it. And they won't do it again. Same scenario, they pick the dog up late and you go, oh, it's all right. It was okay, it's your first time, it's only 5 minutes. They will do the same again because they know you haven't enforced that rule. As soon as you enforce it, they will not do it again. It's just human behavior. Again, we're all talking about mindset shifts here. It's nothing that none of you can do, that none of you can't do. Okay, it's nothing that you can't force, because you all can. You haven't run out of time because you can do it at any point. And it's just about listening to this, thinking, right, I am that person and I need to change it. What boundaries tell your clients, okay, and what they actually mean is clarity, consistency, and fairness, okay? You're not punishing your clients, okay? You're not having a lack of care for your clients by enforcing these boundaries. It's been a long week this week, so apologies that I can't seem to get my words out. It's tax season and we've had a hella week already and it's only Wednesday. But yeah, it's consistency and fairness, all right? Because what happens if you've got a few clients that are friends and one of them was late and you charged her or him a tenner, and then the next person, they were late, but you didn't charge them a tenner, and they talk to each other, and one of them goes, oh, Sarah charged me £10 because I was late, what a bitch. And then the friend goes, oh, well, I was late, she didn't charge me. Then that other client's going to get pissed because you've charged her a tenner but not the other client. So again, the boundaries enforce fairness and consistency, okay, across all of the clients. You can't pick and choose. It's not a punishment. I think that's what we've got to get out of the head. I'm that person, I need to change. Debbie, do you know what? Admitting it is the first step. Yeah, like we're in Alcoholics Anonymous. Admitting it is the first step. Yeah, we all are. I am that person as well, Debbie. So honestly, I wish I could take my own advice because I'm the weak one. But I'm in a lucky position where I have Lee who enforces ours, so I don't have to be strict. But just get it out of your head. It's not a punishment, okay? If you have the boundary set in place, you're protecting your income, your energy, your staff if you've got them, and setting your expectations for your clients. Because again, your clients will become much better clients if you follow the rules and reinforce the boundaries. They will be amazing clients. And ones that don't and constantly test it, just get rid of them. Just say, do you know what? You're not the client for me. Here's another groomer down the road, or here is another dog walker, another dog trainer that you can try. But unfortunately, we're not going to, stay. We're not going to have the relationship. We need to go elsewhere. And that's fine. It's your business. You can do what you want. We sometimes have clients that we just don't gel with, or just don't match our values and what we want to do as an accountancy firm. And that's fine to let them go. Okay. Yes, it's awkward as hell. And yes, you're going to feel really cringe about it. And you're like, oh God, swallow me up. Hi, Laura. But you'll feel better afterwards, because those clients are the ones that will suck your energy and suck your time. Okay, so just get rid of them if they start whinging because they were late or changed appointment or cancelled an appointment. It's kinder to them by enforcing them than it is constantly bending them, because they won't know where they stand. Is she going to charge me? Is she not? Can I cancel appointment? Can I not? So it feels more comfortable from a client's perspective if you've got consistent rules than having loads of inconsistency. Okay, they're going to feel much better, and it makes you look better as a business person when everything is very clear and set out and you're not changing the rules. Laura's put, once you've binned off a few, it gets less awkward. Yeah, we were just discussing that before, Laura. Like, I hate doing it, and I always get Lee to do it because I just find it really cringe. I don't know what it is, but I just hate having uncomfortable conversations with people. Sometimes I can do it when they've been rude or whatever. It makes it a lot easier. But when it's just something that just doesn't work out and you have to part ways, it's awful. So I tried to get rid of a client and I could not get rid, and she hurdled boundaries, still got her, but you're right, managing her drains me. Exactly. Just get rid. Just get rid. Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it. And then you could fill her space or his space with a better client that will respect your boundaries and respect what you're doing. Happy Pets Yorkshire, sound advice. We're in our 8th year and have learnt this along the way. Firm, clear boundaries work. Exactly. And the fact that you're in your 8th year then screams volumes, because you wouldn't have got to year 8 if you didn't have set boundaries. And like you say, it does become easier over time. Like when I first started the pet accountant, I was awful, and I took on anybody and everybody, even if they were rude to me on the phone and I knew they were going to be awkward, I still took them on. Obviously, 4 years later, we don't do that now, thank God. But at the time, I was awful with it as well. So we all do it, but it's just, we can change it, and that's the best thing. So don't worry. Right, I'm going to take a drink. So what's everyone's non-negotiable policies? I know you will have them. So if you're listening, can you just shout out on the comments what policies you have? For example, these are the ones that you need to have that are non-negotiable. These are not optional. Cancellation and no-show policies. Have a clear time frame and a clear fee, and make sure you stick to it. Okay. Debbie, this is me. However, I'm slowly implementing changes, very slowly, with a little snail emoji. Debbie, slowly is better than never. So there you go. That's why you got me. Yeah, I know, but it's fine because I love you. Jen's put, remember losing a client because I refused to go back to collect her dog after she would not answer the door at pickup, and her key was in the door, so could not get in. Again, like, people just take the piss, and I think this is the problem. Like, especially I feel like more now than maybe 5 years ago, people take the piss and they don't care. And it's sad, but either enforce the boundary, enforce the policy, or get rid. Deposits, Laura, like singing to the choir here. We'll talk about deposits probably on the next one. Maybe I'll do that next. Cancellations on the day, full charge, 100%. 48 hours cancellation is also non-negotiable for us. Yeah, exactly, because you've got time. You need time to fill that slot, and it's not as easy as just picking up the phone. So cancellation, no-show policies. Make sure you've got a clear time frame and a clear fee. Payment terms, when the payment is due and what happens if it's late. And I know we've got a best friend who's a dog walker, and she's always like, oh my God, payment's late again, payment's late again. You know, if you put on payment terms and what happens if it's late, then again, stick to them. Jens, but we have a 10% charge of late payment after 7 days. Not very good at implementing it, maybe you was going to say, but we're okay charging of late cancellation. Yeah, again, it's one of those where you feel awkward and difficult, but if they kick off, then you've just got to say, please refer to the terms and conditions or whatever you've called the document. When you joined me as a client, it clearly states that if you pay later than 7 days, there's a 10% charge. Can these clients go to Asda, buy their Asda Big Shop, go to the till and then say to the till lady, sorry, Sandra, I will just pay you in 10 days, and then walks out of their shopping? It doesn't happen. You can't just go into a shop and go, do you know what, I'll just pay you late. And why should they pay them on time but not you guys? So again, think of it that way. If you've got a policy there, just refer them back to the terms and conditions. That's all you've got to do. Appointment changes is another one. How often the changes are allowed and the minimum notice that you need to be given. And again, put on there, if you don't do it within these timescales, this is what's going to happen. Okay. And then I would have a 3-strike rule. You do it 3 times, you're out. And you can put that in your terms and conditions. Yeah, 3 strikes, you're out. Okay. Late arrivals. What happens if they pick the dog up late or they come to the appointment late? Again, you need to put clear, concise T's and C's together and the repercussions of them not doing things. Try not to make the policies too vague. You know, like, we may charge this, or in some cases we do this. because if they're vague, they're going to try and negotiate out of them. Okay, so you need clear, strict policies. If you do this, this happens. If you do this, this happens. Why are we still letting people leave without paying? I know, like, this is what I mean. Like, you go to get your dog groom, I'll pay you later, or your dog walker. All right, yeah, no bother, I'll pay you tonight. Or how about you get a card machine? We've partnered with LowPay, by the way, so if you're not using LowPay, you can sign up with them using a code TPA, the pet account TPA 2000, and you will get £2,000 worth of free transactions. So again, you can have a card machine and go, no, Sally, you need to pay now, because we're not, we're like Asda. You've got to pay on buying the goods. Fees for pet sitting are non-negotiable. Some clients try to haggle and try to reduce the price, stay firm, stand your ground. Yeah, exactly. Why are we reducing the price? No one else would. You don't go, as far as I'm aware, to a nursery and say, well, I've got 2 babies, so one baby's, I don't know, £500 a week. Do you get a reduced amount for the second baby? I don't know. Maybe you do, and it'll ruin my argument, because I don't know why I picked that as an example, because I have no idea. But I'm guessing not. They're not going to give you discounts. So why should you give discounts on second dogs in the same household, or 3 dogs in the same household? Laura, if you turn up more than 15 minutes late without calling to say you're running late, it's at the discretion of the stylist if they have time to do the dog. If more than 30 minutes late collecting, we charge £15 for every half hour. That's good, but the only thing there, Laura, that I would be worried about is the fact you put is at the discretion of. So because you put at the discretion of, as me as a client, I would then try and argue and negotiate out of that, because that isn't clear of what's going to happen. It's at the discretion of, so it's vague. So I would say either you're 15 minutes late, you pay this, or you're half an hour late, you pay this. I wouldn't put the discretion of, because you're leaving it too vague. Being strict on matting fees too, or overdue dogs being more for a freestyle fee. Exactly. Debbie had one say she'll pay me when she gets back from her holiday. She went on 3 days after the dog grooming. And again, this is what we need to change, people. If, you're doing bank transfer and you're a groomer, for example, and people are coming into your salon to pick the dog up, get a card machine. Yeah, get LowPay. It's the cheapest one out there. They're actually sponsoring this podcast. So TPA 2000, have a card machine and say, no, sorry, Sally, you've got to tap your card and pay. I'm not going to wait a week for you to go on holiday again. You don't go to Asda and do your big shop and go, I'm off on holiday tomorrow, I'll pay you next week, pal. Like, it just doesn't work. I think our T's and C's say 15 minutes late, we don't do it, but it's up to the stylist. I would change that, Laura, I really would, and say if you're 15 minutes, like 15 minutes, come on. If you're 15 minutes late, you get charged an extra tenner. Concise, to the point. If you put it's at the discretion of the stylist, all they're going to do is argue it. By putting the set time and the set fee, there's no argument. It's clear there in black and white. But if you put it's up to the discretion, there's no point in you having it in the T's and C's, because they'll just argue. So change it, Laura. Right. Fair, we'll add that in. Perfect. Because if I came and I was 10 minutes late and then you charged me, and I'd go, well, hang on a minute, and it says at the discretion, so why are you picking on me? That's all they'll say. Why are you picking on me? Because have you done that to everybody? And it just invites arguments. So just clear and concise. Right. How we're going to enforce these boundaries. This is the difficult bit. So here are the rules. Okay. We are going to remove emotion from the message. Okay. We're not being personal. It's a procedure. So instead of sending a message or saying to the person, however you do it, I'm really sorry, but... That's the same with the pricing. Don't put, I'm really sorry, but, because you're not sorry, you need to put your prices up. Instead, say, as per our cancellation policy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? So you're not sorry, they should be sorry. So I'm not sorry, but absolutely not. As per our cancellation policy. Yeah? As per our terms and conditions. Okay? That will make it easier. The moment you make the expectations, you reopen the negotiation, okay? Exceptions, okay? If you're making an exception with one person, you're just going to open the door to negotiation, so don't do that. Doodle doos. Whilst listening to your live, I've just popped on and increased 3 of my customers' prices. The customer that I've never risen prices for because they're my OG dogs are very cute. Amazing. Great. Absolutely bloody love it. There we go, people. I don't know who Doodle Doos is. Put your name in if you don't mind, or if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. Prime example, like I said, I was bad for it. My OGs, they know who they are, been with me from day one. And I never put their prices up for a couple of years, and then I did it and I felt horrible. But at the end of the day, you've got to have your business head on. This is where we're going wrong, people, is we've got to have our business head on. It's not an emotional head. It's not the dog's fault. The dog isn't going to suffer by you adding, £5 onto your price, okay? So take the emotion out of it. Not, I'm really sorry, but as per our cancellation policy here, use systems, like use the tech to help you. So if you're getting a lot of no-shows or a lot of whatever, use automated reminders if you can, if you've got a software that does that. Use booking software rules. Take deposits. Deposits, regardless of who you are, is a massive, massive thing because no one wants to lose money for the sake of it. If I've paid a deposit, I'm more likely to go and do the thing that I've paid for than if I get to Friday and feel like I can't be asked and I haven't paid a deposit, I'm more likely to cancel it. But if I've already put 30 or 40 quid down, I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to lose that 30 or 40 quid. So I'm just going to make the effort. I'm going to take Fluffy to get a dog room, or I'm going to let them do the dog walk. Okay. Systems enforce boundaries as well. So that it takes away the awkwardness. Get a system that does it for you. Okay. You're not going against the client. This is the thing we've got to get out of. It's not going against the client. You're enforcing the rule for your business. Joe, amazing, gold star for Joe for putting their prices up on the OGs. And again, look at it this way. Your OGs aren't going to care because they're your OGs. They're not going to be the ones that complain for a price rise because they value what you do because they've been with you from day one. So again, don't worry about putting those prices up because they're the ones. It's easy. It's easy because they love you already. Also, quick tip, because we had it recently, put your T's and C's on the website. Yeah, 100%. We give them to clients when they come to us first, but we had some arguing the day that they couldn't find them, so they're now on the website too. Fair enough. Good learning point there, Laura. Love our booking software, saves us time, automates the reminders and deposits. Same, we use Calendly, and Calendly will send people a text and an email before their appointment just to remind them. And before I had Calendly, I had loads of people not showing up for their appointment. But now we put Calendly in. Perfect. Yeah, everyone wants to know, what do you use, Laura? Or can you not say? Who knows? But yes, well done to Joe. Fabulous. And anyone else, if you're listening to this later, put in the comments if you've done anything, because it spurs everyone else on. And our WhatsApp group for the Expo, the amount of wins and stuff and things we've had in there since November has been amazing. Top line, there we go. There's other booking softwares out there. Right, so good clients will respect the boundaries that you've enforced, okay? Not the ones that you're going to hope they're going to follow. Setting your boundaries, being clear, will weed out the RC clients, guaranteed, because the RC clients are the one that's going to try and negotiate with you every time they see you. And if they do that, just get rid, okay? Just get rid. It's going to increase the money in your back pocket. It's going to reduce your stress from having to have those awkward conversations. And you will have quality clients over quantity. And that's what we want, quality over quantity. So your homework this week for this live, okay? And I will ask everyone next week if they've done it. Feel free to message me directly. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Follow the Pet Accountant. But let me know if you've done this for your homework. Review your terms and conditions, okay? And make sure they're clear and not vague. Like Laura's going to do, she's going to update that one at the discretion of, because that's too vague. Identify where you're not enforcing them. Is it late cancellations? Is it appointment changes? Is it late pickups? Whatever it is. And then choose one boundary to tighten this month. Figure out where you're doing it the most and tighten that one this month. And let's see what happens in a few months' time. We'll revisit it and see where everyone's at with it and what's happened. And maybe someone can I will update this afternoon and let me know how the clients have reacted. It'll be interesting to know. Some of them will hate you and we'll just get rid, so it's fine. And I think that is it. Thank you so much. I was just checking my notes, make sure I'd covered everything. If there is anything specific you guys want me to chat about, then please let us know. Myself and Lee have done other stuff in the past. We are not just the best accountants in the world. We run businesses ourselves and everything is linked, whether you're a dog groomer, accountant, hairstylist, whatever. So we've gone through the trials and errors, we've gone through the ups and downs, and we're good at what we do. So use and abuse us as much as you need us. I will try and do, I think of a good one next week, maybe deposits, because that's a good one. But I want to, for 2026, to be a year for everyone to change their mindset of, this is my business and I need to make money. It's got to be sustainable. And all these things are going to help that. Just looking at, yes, definitely the best. Well, I try, Laura, I do try. Not according to the lady on the groomers group, but hey ho, can't please everyone. But there we go. Maybe I'll do one on how to react to bad reviews or whatever on social media. That might be a good one. But let me know in the comments if there's anything specifically business related that you want me to go through. I'll be more than happy, but I will think of another juicy topic for next week. It's obviously tax season. Make sure that your tax return is being submitted by the 31st of January and paid by the 31st of January. And if you're coming to the expo, I will start letting you into the Facebook group and the WhatsApp chat this weekend. It's been a bit manic. I was meant to do it last week, but with it being tax season, it's just been a nightmare. So I will try and do that this weekend. If you haven't got your ticket for the expo yet, then please, please, please grab one, because all of this stuff that I'm talking about, like last week and this week, is all stuff that comes up in the expo, and you've got experts talking about it as well. So again, if you're wanting to tighten your business up and make it sustainable, then please grab your ticket to the expo. We're getting a fancy new website designed at the minute, so when that goes live, I'll let you know. But you can go to the Pepper Expo website, the temporary website, and buy a ticket if you want them. My favourite hobby, replying to bad reviews. Can we have one on allowable expenses? We need to look at the tickets, but I need to check dates. The expo tickets are an allowable business expense, as is the travel, as is the accommodation, as is your food and drink. So again, it's all business expense. It's the 3rd of October. The East Side Rooms in Birmingham has a lovely hotel attached to it, so you don't even have to go outside. We're going to have 7 brilliant speakers. We're going to have a networking party. We've got food and breakfast and drinks and all sorts. Meant Alive on expenses. Oh, Laura, I do loads on expenses. I might do one later on in the year on expenses, but we have done a fair few recently on expenses. So make sure you subscribe to the Pet Accountant podcast, because we have done a lot of lives on expenses. And I don't want to bore you guys with more on expenses, but Laura, I will note it down and I'll do that one in a couple of months. And we'll just rehash and go over any of the expenses that people don't think of. But thank you for that. I will do it, but we have done one fairly recently before Christmas on expenses. But yes, Laura, I hope to see you and Darren at the expo, fingers crossed. It would be nice to see you guys. And other than that, I best get back to work and do some tax returns and see my little doggies. But thank you for listening. And hopefully we'll see you guys back next week. Do your homework and let me know how you get on. Have a good week and stay safe. And yes, make sure you keep all those receipts. Laura, actually, before I say goodbye, if you do want tickets, clients do get £10 off. So please let me know directly if you want them, and I can sort that out for you. You can subscribe to the podcast by finding it on Spotify and then just clicking the follow button. But yes, have a good afternoon, everyone. And I will catch you for next week's installment. And this podcast will go live on Monday on Spotify. Perfect. Right. I'll speak to you guys soon. Thank you again and take care, everyone.